done, because it is done.
We have his son, Alexander. Wait. Vultures! Wait. We have his son. Just 3 months.
Alexander, the army will divide. Satrapies will revolt. Without your orders, there'll be war.
We beg you, tell us who.
Shalom. First of all, I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors out to the elders. And honors unto the brothers on the four corners of the earth doing this work. You know, in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, faithfulness and sincerity and truth. Elder Tahar told us to do everyone to do a response video on like these homosexuals, you know, and so forth. So I'm from GMS London camp. My name's Amar Kwam, and without further ado, let me start. This is Merriam-Webster.com dictionary, and this is the definition of homosexuality. We'll start with number 2. Erotic activity with another of the same sex. You scroll down. It says, homosexuality was not uncommon in ancient Greece and Rome, particularly between adult and adolescent males. And that's where homosexuality really flourished, in those two kingdoms. As you know, the law of the Bible is against homosexuality. And it reads in Leviticus 20 and 13, if a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So that's very straightforward. Their blood shall be put upon them. And you also have these so-called Jewish people, which claim that it's okay for men to sleep with young boys, and they justify it through their Talmud, which is totally wickedness. I read this document in truthtellers.org. It says Judaism homosexuality, and it reads, a little boy is without moral protection, whose rape is not even a moral issue. It is consequently not hard to imagine how Jewish homosexuals, already lusting after little boys, chickens in their vocabulary, that's what they call young boys who they lusting after, could find justification in the Talmud's rationalization. It reads on. Here's what the Talmud says. The Talmud teaches that since little boys aren't sexually mature, molesting them has no moral implications. So they're saying if the child ain't old enough, you know, to be under the law, then both of them ain't accountable for the actions committed, when that's wickedness. And I'll explain that in a second. Because such a minor isn't a man in the mature sense, the boy and his sexual predator are exempt from the Mosaic ban on homosexuality. It says, thou shalt not lie with mankind. So they're stuck on that word mankind as if that only applies to men. I'll read it in Leviticus 18 and 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind is abomination. The word that comes up there says zakar. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. However, the definition there is male, right? Now, when you go to another scripture, which is Leviticus 12 and 2, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation, or her infirmity shall she be unclean. If you click on the word man child, that's a boy, right? A newborn, or a male child. The word there again is the same word which was in the previous scripture, right? Which was Leviticus 18 and 22, both of which share the same root word, which means male. However, one specifies in a child, the other one really just covers both. You can use the word for both or just one. It's the same thing. That's why the scriptures read in Revelation 2 and 9, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And that's exactly what these devils are, calling themselves Jewish people today, or also the so-called elites of our society. Now, we was talking about the Greek and the Roman Empire, and it started with so-called Alexander, the son of Philip, which was a Macedonian. But I'm going to read about him a bit to expand upon my point. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. Key word, evils were multiplied in the earth. Why? Because of the acts that they were committing. Now when you look up the word evil, we're going to look in Ephesians 5 and 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. When we look up the word evil here, definition is bringing toils, annoyances, perils of a time full of peril to Christian faith and steadfastness, causing pain and trouble. And that's what they're trying to do, promoting homosexuality and trying to claim that it's justified in the Bible to sleep with young males who ain't under the law. That's a peril to the true Christian faith, right? That's a peril, man. That's a trouble. That's bad, or bad nature, or condition. That's evil and wicked, man. Moving on. The type of evils that they were doing is recorded in the Bible. And it's recorded in 2 Maccabees chapter 4, starting from verse 9. I'll try and read it and summarize it. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, to do right, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus. Right, so what they were doing, they were setting up places for exercise, and what they did in those places of exercise They performed all their training nakedly. How do I know that? Look up the word in Wikipedia, the word gymnasium, ancient Greece. And it reads, the gymnasium in ancient Greece functioned as a training facility for competitors in public games. It was also a place for socializing and engaging in intellectual pursuits. The name comes from the ancient Greek term gymnos, meaning naked. Athletes competed nude. There you have it, man. That's how you know. Reading on. Now, from verse 10, which when the king, Salakia, verse 10. Sorry, verse 9. And for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus, which when the king had granted and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to Greekish fashion, and the royal privileges granted of a special favor to the Jews by the means of John the father of Apollomus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law, and that's exactly what this society exercises today, which they go against all of the laws of the Bible, and they uphold laws against it through media, and also pass laws, and also going into Hollywood and the things you watch. They proclaim homosexuality as if it was something positive and that you can benefit from it. Just like this guy Michael Sam, I'm saying his name correctly, he was he's among so-called homosexuals who haven't come out yet, who are quite known in the media. He's thought of as to be a so-called god for coming out and proclaiming that he's a homosexual. And then, you know, they take payments. A lot of these people in the music industry, in the movie industry, all across these so-called higher status people, or the A-list, they take it up the bum for a bribe. It shows that evidently they're just slaves that will do anything for a paycheck. For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat. So that's why not only did the hat come from the so-called New Era hat, come from the Greek Empire. That, you got a lot of things they do today, like skinny jeans, you know, wearing these so-called like skirts and stuff with skinny jeans, because people in the hip hop wear it, and they're bringing what young men under subjection.
Externalization and the man skirts. Check this out. Notice how Kanye West is wearing his short leather skirt with tights, and what's on his t-shirt directly above it? That's right, Baphomet. This is textbook externalization. By wearing the skirt and being a man, Kanye is exemplifying androgyny. And because he is famous, he makes this very satanic principle acceptable to his fans, challenging their already fixed ideals on what is decent or indecent for men, and consequently attacking the lines of distinction between males and females within the minds of his fans.
So whatever they do on TV, the young men who ain't on TV practice it, you know? That's one way of effeminizing young men, or making young men of Israel break the laws of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar, but despising the temple, right, so they do away with our customs, and neglecting the sacrifices, hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus called them forth. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. So they were totally taken by the so-called benefits or the fame of being a homosexual, or just following the customs of the heathen. By reason wherefore sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of God, but the time following shall declare these things. Right, so there's going to be all kind of mass destruction and hell breaking loose, riots and all kind of things, diseases, all kind of things happening on the earth, events and prophecies coming into effect. And these people are going to know that the Lord is a terrible power, man. He's angry with the wicked every day, like the scriptures say. Okay, I'm going to move on to this document. This says, the document called gaystarnews.com. It's titled "The Truth About Sexuality in Ancient Greece and Rome." Bear with me. It reads, neither Greeks or Romans had a concept of homosexuality or heterosexuality. They just liked to pop either one. They didn't care. That was what floated their boat, so to speak. But as both societies were intensely patriarchal, what was important in sexual relationships was the status of who did the penetrating and their age. Right, because they was into young little boys, and obviously the boys wouldn't have hair on their face, so that's what enticed them. That's why today what you have is grown men continuing to shave their beards to look like young boys. It says, in this world, the notion of sex between two grown men was deeply taboo, as it would seem to reduce the passive partner to the level of a woman. Yeah, man, because if you're bowing down to another man to pop you in the booty, man, there's something sick inside of you, man. Like, that's what I gotta say, man. You just have to bring this information out. It's my duty, man. You people are just sick, man. In both societies, youths were considered to be able to consent to sex from around their mid-teens, which was similar age to consent to sex from around their mid-teens, which was similar to the age that girls were considered ready for marriage. So girls that were considered ready for marriage were young women at marriageable age, between 14, 15, 16, sometimes a little bit younger, you know, but it's just about their natural, when they would start naturally coming on to their period. But the ones that women have today, some of them start as young as 8, some start younger, and that's unnatural due to various reasons like the food you eat and so forth. But back then, that's when they'll be ready for marriage, being that they've started their period. I'm going to read on. And it was acceptable who used to be in same-sex relationships until they could grow a full beard. Right, because here it is in society, they want you to remain a faggot or a homosexual, right, until the day you die. They want, a beard is a badge of dignity, which you can look at in the Bible dictionary, Johnson Bible dictionary, where not having a beard is a badge of effeminacy, or a young homosexual. As it reads, they used to be in same-sex relationships until they could grow a full beard. As soon as you got a so-called beard, that made you no longer a homosexual, so you'd have to shave it to maintain it. And for this reason, there were all manner of depilatory products on sale in order to keep your boyfriend respectable. Ain't that the same sentence that they show you in Gillette or these shaving adverts? The man's face has got to always be smooth, but they do it through avenue of the women.
Every day is a new chance to show the world how phenomenal you can be. Start today with the confidence you get from Gillette Fusion Power Phenom. Fusion Power soothing micropulses help you reduce friction so you barely feel the blades. Try the world's most comfortable shave, Fusion Power. The best a man can get.
Now, when you look at the word depilatory, it says on Wikipedia, a chemical depilatory is a cosmetic preparation used to remove hair from the skin on the human body. Currently common active ingredients are calcium thioglycolate or potassium thioglycolate, which breaks down the disulfide bonds in keratin and weakens the hair so it is easily scraped off where it emerges from the hair follicle. Many of the most famous names to come down to us in history from the Greek world have been same-sex attracted from bisexual Alexander the Great. And these were the type of evils that were practiced under his rule.
It's enough to make the modern man blush, but in ancient times it seems the Greeks were always game and the Romans were permanently raunchy. Artifacts on show in Athens reveal an attitude to love and lust so uninhibited they need a warning sign at the entrance. The exhibition, dedicated to the Greek god of love Eros, or Cupid to the Romans, has quite a lot of other things open. Everyday household items like vases and oil lamps feature graphic scenes of sexual activity. There's even a life-sized recreation of a prostitute's kiosk where the walls would feature the good lady's specialities of the house. Museum director Nicholas Stampoulidis says 700 BC to 400 AD was a pretty steamy time.
If you look at an acrokeramon, that means on roof tiles of a house or of a public building, and there are sexual scenes, that means they were to be seen by the public. Children, adolescents, men, women, everybody could see that.
And after his rule, as evils were multiplied. They're the type of things which were the heathenish customs and the fashion. It says, in comparison, sex between men in the Roman world was mostly more sinister affair. Having sex with a freeborn Roman male could see you up on charges for ruining the youth's future reputation. But slaves and foreigners were all fair game. So they would allow, obviously, Esau is a so-called homosexual and a pedophile. He likes to sleep with young boys. Can I prove that? By reading the scriptures, as it says here, while it loads. Joel 3:3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot. And you keep in the Strong's Concordance. To force into prostitution. Because if you're a slave, what these Esau like to do is you like to have relationships with the males that he kept as slaves. And there was nothing you could do against it, rather than accept death. And that's what these so-called musicians, artists, movie actors, they just accept being raped just for the fame. And they'll keep doing it, and keep accepting it, just so that they can keep their status. Otherwise, when they try and go against them, it comes out publicly, and they become embarrassed, you know. In earlier years, all you'd see is just these guys just having no beard, always shaved, and then later on it comes out that these guys were homosexuals, man. Just like that guy, Michael Sam, that white guy who played in Pulp Fiction, sleeping with his helicopter pilot.
Recently under radar for his alleged involvement in 2 separate accounts of his sexual advances on male masseurs, Hollywood actor John Travolta is now under scrutiny for being involved in a secret homosexual affair with a pilot named Doug Koterba, reportedly. These fresh claims are made by the actor's former secretary, Joan Edwards, who has reportedly said that he knew that the actor was gay, and apparently it was Doug who told the actor's former secretary that Travolta and him had a sexual relationship. As per reports, all this happened before the face-off star married Kelly Preston in the year 1991. And now, after all these allegations are out in public, it has been reported that the couple has separated, even as the actor's legal team has denied all of these claims.
When the Roman Empire became Christian, the temples of the cult Antiochus were destroyed, though many of the statues ended up in the Vatican art collections. They were seen by the artist Raphael, who used his likeness when painting angels as his model of male perfection. So this guy would just paint them naked, man. You know, dingo out, all sorts. But then what were they doing? Homosexual acts. Hadrian and Antonius were lovers for 5 years until Antonius fell from a boat in the Nile and drowned, and some have suggested he killed himself to avoid shaming the emperor as he grew older. There you go, man. That's where you get the shaving of the beard from. And some couples did buck the discrimination that was thrown at them by publicly celebrating their commitment through same-sex marriage. Now, as you know, 2 Samuel 10:4, wherefore Hanan took David's servants and shaved off the one half of their beards and cut off their garments in the middle, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. That was an embarrassment, right? Because they were what? They were naked. They were shamed. But here it is. You've got guys wearing skinny jeans, skirts, dresses, makeup, and all kind of wickedness, and acting as if it's a positive thing, man. But the time that's coming, man, you're gonna be caught out, man. Most I ain't playing with you people for doing the wickedness that you're doing, man. You're gonna be destroyed for it. Now, looking at this particular scripture here, Hebrews 12:16, it reads, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright." We're going to look into the word fornicator. The word there is pornos. A man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire. A male prostitute. And that's what these guys are. Gay Z, all these people, man. They're just prostitutes. They're slaves. Because they can't go away, stop doing what they're doing. They're paid to do what they do, man. He's a man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire. If you go into the root word of pornos, it says, sold under sin, entirely under the control of the love of sinning, of one bride to give himself up wholly to another's will. There you go, man. People in the music industry, movies, media, arts, all of them are bribed, man, and totally under the control and the love of sinning. And this scripture is talking about Esau, the so-called white man. But evidently so, he's got our people following his customs, and they're doing exactly what the scripture's saying, man. By definition. You look at the word profane person. It simply means ungodly. Here it is, of men ungodly. Moving on, we ain't the only people GMS. Because there's people around the world that are sick of so-called homosexuality, man. You got these topics here. Barbara Streisand finds gay sex distasteful. Britain to send Ugandan lesbian mum home to beaten to death. Gay Taiwanese student jumps to death to protest discrimination in class. We've got this particular woman in the Telegraph on Wednesday, the 21st of May. Says this woman wants homosexuality criminalized, adultery made illegal, a rock groups banned, and now she wants your vote. This Edomite woman here was, I don't know. I can't tell you for a fact she's an Edomite. Well, she is from Northern Ireland, I believe, so you never know. But she's a woman who wants adultery criminalized and blah blah blah. We ain't the only ones, man. People around the world know about the wickedness of Esau, man, and he wants that to pay. You got the Ofsted. This is the Guardian. The Ofsted abandons inspection of Luton school after homosexuality row. And basically had some Ofsted people who come in and do the checks on the school, putting kids aside and asking them how they feel about homosexuality and stuff like that. It says the inspectors questioned the group of 9 and 10-year-olds on Wednesday and then met more than 20 parents who attended a scheduled meeting on Thursday morning as part of an inspection. At the meeting, the parents raised appropriateness of the questioning, and after discussion between inspectors, parents and school, the inspectors opted to withdraw, ending the inspection a day early. One of the guys said, one of the boys said, he said this. He said, Dad, when they took us to the side room, they said, do you guys know what gay means? My son said, yes, I do know what it means. What that got to do with our education? They said, are you exposed to it in any way, good or bad? Does the school teach you anything about it? My son replied, no, the school has not taught us anything about it, but I have heard of the word, and I'd rather not have this conversation with you at all. So at the end of the day, man, these people are trying to push homosexuality on kids. And, you know, just really trying to like force it on them, even down to the level of being at school and Ofsted. And with that, man, I believe I've covered everything I needed to cover. Say shalom until the next video.